Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is I, Hukos, and I am back for my next project. As you can see, we are doing the Sega CD game. For those of you unaware, the Sega CD is considered a failed add-on for the Sega Genesis, and the whole point behind it is that it was mostly meant to add some extra capabilities to the Sega Genesis, namely the ability to play FMV video and have the CD like Red Book quality playback, and some extra things like some more processing power, some more RAM, things like that. Unfortunately, that's not how it went in theory. Well, in on paper, that's what the Sega CD would have been like. But in practice, it just kind of became a dumping ground for really bad FMV games. There's some select Sega CD games I really like this, Snatcher, the Lunars, etc., etc. But we're playing Sonic CD, as you can tell from the really grainy FMV audio video. Now, there are multiple versions of this game. I am playing the original Sega CD version, which has its own quirks, ups and downs. The version most people will recommend is I believe it was 2012 re-release of the game on PSN, Xbox Live Arcade, and Steam. I don't believe it's on Switch, I don't know. Check for yourself. Now, why am I doing this? Well, I intend on doing... Sonic CD is a weird game, it's kind of difficult to explain. Sonic CD doesn't really play like Sonic 1, 2, or even Sonic 3 Knuckles. It's way more exploration focused. You're not really meant to You're not really meant to speedrun this game, basically. It kind of punishes you for doing so, and this is the main sticking point that some Sonic fans don't really like about Sonic CD. And, well, more power to them, I guess. Even though I really like this game, but So, this playthrough is going to be a lot more slower paced and more freeform. Like, I'm not rushing to the end level because Sonic CD doesn't really support that kind of playstyle. I don't really have an issue with that myself, but I can understand why that would bother some folks. Anyway, we're starting at the first level of the game, Palmtree Panic. We have 7 levels to go through, and it'll basically be, each video will be its own level. Anyway, the thing with this game is that it has 2 soundtracks. One in the US and one in Japan, and, well, by extension, Europe. Now, I'm playing the US version of this game. Now, I know there's going to be people that really don't like the US soundtrack, and fair enough. I actually slightly prefer the US soundtrack myself. But, opinions. Anyway, we got a little past sign. Now, we see what happens here. If you have a certain amount of speed and you hold it for so long, you will trigger this little sequence here, and you will go back to the past. And this is sort of the basis of Sonic CD's whole game design, is being able to go into different time periods of each level. And when you go into different time periods, the level design changes. I mean, enemies don't change too much. There are some differences. Here we have a metal Sonic holographic device. I don't know what the official name of it is, I just kind of call it that. Those things are completely optional. I'm going to destroy every single one of them where I know they exist in this game. I don't think I'm missing it. Hopefully not. Someone's going to yell at me otherwise. Now, the thing you really want to find in the past sections of the game are the roboticizer things. And we'll see, this one act one's closer to the level. You can only find these things in the past sections. You cannot find them in any other time period, so you always start each act in the present. You don't start in the past or the future. Now, there are 2 types of future: a good future and a bad future. If you destroy the roboticizer in the past, you will automatically be rewarded with a good future. If you do not, you get the bad future. Now, we can override this later on through other means, so if you're not interested in finding all these past capsules, don't worry. And here's the roboticizer. Now, if we were to go into the future, I believe that, yeah, that's what I'm going to do here. and the main thing with the design of Sonic CD is you have to like kind of explore the level to figure out the best place to time travel, because you can't just do it anywhere. You have to find a place where you can maintain speed for a good bit of time, because if you try to maintain speed but lose it, you'll end up losing your ability to time travel until you find another signpost, that is. Anyway, we're back in the present. Sometimes you can wind up in weird places via time travel, but you can almost always get out of them. I've never been permanently stuck in it. I mean, if you have, let me know. And we're back in the present. Now, what I'm going to do here is going to try to find a future sign, so I can show off what the good future of Palmtree Panic looks like. And its own little quirks. But you'll notice, because we destroyed the roboticizer, a lot of flowers and stuff are constantly popping up. That's a feature, not a bug. But anyway, going back to the multiple soundtracks of Sonic CD, since I'm doing the US version, I'm basically leaving the Japanese version out, right? And a lot of people really like the Japanese version. So what I'm going to do is, not now, not really anytime soon, especially with how slow I can be in doing these projects, but I will eventually do a playthrough of the Steam release. And I will be playing the Japanese soundtrack. And I think I'll just have it be a Tails playthrough just to add extra justification. Because otherwise, it's kind of hard to justify doing a second playthrough. Even though I really like this game, but... And now we're time traveling into the future. Nothing in the game requires you to visit the future periods. It's completely optional. It's just for your own, just to see what they're like. And now we destroyed the capsule, and everything's all nice and pretty. And there are no enemies. If you go to a good future, there are no enemies. There might be spike hazards, but the good futures are largely devoid of like anything that's remotely threatening that can kill you or anything like that, because you saved the day. It's a good future. You would think it would be devoid of any obstacles, except for those spikes, but that's really the only thing you'll ever find in these good futures. It's different in the bad futures. You'll see when we show off. You can, if you've acquired a good future via destroying one of the capsules and you finish the act in the past or the present, you're still accredited with a good future, so don't worry about that. I'm showing these off to show what they're like. For like anyone in the audience that's never played Sonic CD and might be curious, or someone that's played it but just didn't have the patience to go through and see what all the good futures and the bad futures were like. Of course, you can also travel back to the past if you want, but there's not much reason to. Also, the icon on the bottom left will either indicate the bottom left will indicate the time period you're in if you somehow forgot, even though I feel like all the time periods are pretty visually distinct, so that really shouldn't be an issue. Anyway, like Sonic 1, you get 50 rings at the end of an act and jump in the ring, and you get taken to a special stage. Like Sonic 1 and unlike Sonic 2, completing all the special stages does not award you the ability to be supersonic. It's closer to Sonic 1. However, it's a little more, these special stages are a little more useful in CD than Sonic 1 because of one stipulation. If you complete a special stage here, you're awarded with a time stone. And the time stone, if you collect all 7 of them, they don't do anything individually. But if you get all of them, you automatically are awarded all good futures for the rest of the game. Even if you've gotten some bad futures already, it won't matter. So and the whole point of getting good futures and bad futures is it determines whether you get the good ending or bad ending of the game. If you got a good future in every level in the game, then you would just get the good ending. If you didn't get all of them, you would get the bad ending. But if you got all the time stones, let's say you just got one in each level up to like the first 7 acts that you would go through, right? And you got all of them on time and on cue. Even if you got, like, you just completely ignored the roboticizer capsules, so you had a bad future in all of those levels, it wouldn't matter. You still get the good ending. So it's totally possible to completely ignore the time travel mechanic. Though I feel like you don't really get a whole lot of value out of Sonic CD if you do that. If you enjoy this game, it's because you like kind of the exploration mindset it has, as opposed to just blasting to the end of the level. Anyway, you saw. Should explain another one of the key differences with Sonic CD from like Sonic 2 is we have a spin dash, but our spin dash is very weak and anemic. It takes a really long time to charge up, so what they've done is they've given us the super peel out, where instead of holding down and pressing the jump button, you hold up. And it's kind of like the spin dash. It's faster than the spin dash in this game, but it leaves you vulnerable to being hit by things, because you don't curl into a ball. But what you can do is you can charge up the super peel out and just immediately roll, and it's functionally a spin dash. It may not be exactly like that. Anyway, we're at Palmtree Panic's Bad Future. And this is kind of how the general structure of this playthrough is going to go. In one act, I will show off either a good future or a bad future. Then go back in time and get the capsule. And then finish the level. And in the next act, I'll show off the bad future. Then go back to the past and get the capsule. And then finish the act. And then go on to Act 3. And Act 3 is always a boss act. So, I didn't show off too much of the bad future, but I didn't feel like I do really like the music in the bad future. I just didn't think there was too much in the level design to really show off. But the American soundtrack for Sonic CD as opposed to the Japanese soundtrack, I feel is very atmospheric and has a kind of a nice mood to it. Whereas the Japanese soundtrack is really great at being catchy and memorable. But I kind of like the atmospheric vibe a little bit better. Of course, you know, this is completely ignoring Sonic Boom, the song, not the show, the unfortunate game. Because that's definitely catchy, but I just mean the soundtrack collectively, I don't mean like any individual song. Also, both soundtracks share the same past renditions. And I believe every single song in the past is actually... Most songs in this game are done with Red Book audio, like I know, like Sonic Boom, and You Can Do Anything, Toot Toot Sonic Warrior, etc., etc., are done via Red Book audio, because it's one of the things the Sega CD is capable of. However, I believe all the past musics are done via synthesizer, which is fine with me, because I actually like synthesized video game music quite a bit. It's one of the reasons I like the Genesis, because it uses an actual synthesizer. Even if Western developers had a habit of kind of screwing it up. Anyway, we're in the past, so what we're going to do is we're looking for the roboticizer. It's actually right up around here. And now we're free to finish it. I don't really feel like there's that much point in showing off the good and bad futures in the same act, as I feel it would really, like, because of the exploratory nature of this playthrough, levels are going to take a lot longer to beat than what they might otherwise. So I don't feel like there's any need. And I'm skipping this special stage because I want to limit getting one time stone per level, because once you got all the time stones, there's no point in showing off the roboticizer capsules anymore. And now, since we've gotten a good future in both Act 1 and Act 2, we have a good future in Act 3. And this is how it's determined. If you got good futures in Act 1 and 2, you get a good future in Act 3. If you got a bad future in both acts, you get a bad future here. And if it's split down the middle, like Act 1 was a good future, Act 2 was a bad future, or vice versa, you get a bad future in Act 3. Now, this boss act is actually kind of interesting for one particularly unique reason, is that there are some items that were really only present in the prototype build of Sonic CD, what they call the Sonic CD 510 prototype, because I believe it's named after the date, like, May 10th? the May 10th prototype. There's a time capsule. There's a blue ring capsule, which is where the Knuckles, K-Dox, and Sonic CD ring capsules came from, and an S monitoring capsule. They don't do anything in the game though. So. But anyway, normally they don't exist at all in the final version of Sonic CD, but they exist in a platform that's directly underneath the boss fight. You cannot access it under normal gameplay conditions. You can only find it in debug mode. I'm guessing it was just placeholder level design. They never really got around to using it. But anyway, that's the end of part 1. I'm Hugo, signing off. Have a nice day.